Okay, so we actually have a couple things yet to do. I forgot. We have to put the joints on the screen that we used in this project, and it's called an exploded assembly. So this is pretty neat. You just draw, we'll go ahead and draw a circle and we'll make it, I believe, let me turn on DYN to see what if it's going to read the radius. Apparently it's not going to. Let's try oh yes it is, now it is. Alright, it's going to cooperate. So let's try a 1-inch radius, copy that, and this is when the computer's going to do a lot of math because we're going to make these viewports. This is interesting. View, viewports, and pick object. So you choose that object. Oops. And it became a viewport. Now let's do it one more time. View, viewports, object, and make this circle a viewport. Now, what you want to do is go in here and actually turn this to an isometric, and then find those little joints you drew. Now you want to zoom in until you just kind of have enough exposed. These are not at a scale. We could put them at a scale, a relative scale. It's okay. And then turn on some shading. And there you go. You have an exploded assembly. Just like that. We'll zoom out just a little bit here. I'm not sure why this cube can get in the way. I don't need it really, quite honestly. Though AutoCAD might beg to differ. So now we'll go out to paper space, and we need to label these. These are easy. Control C, V. One there. One there. This one is a RABBET, or rabbit joint. And this one is a dado. DADO joint. We'll zoom out. Control S, save. Go ahead and show the iPhone. See video on. Okay. Now I'll take and move these closer to the actual object and what they're relative to. Go to the dimension text layer, draw a line. I can turn on OSNAP and find the center of that circle, see if it'll do it. Looks like it's going to not cooperate very well. I'm looking, there it is. And we want to go to the joint that it's talking about. So we could stop it just kind of short of the joint. Let me turn off OSNAP so it doesn't grab a hold of anything. I don't need it to create confusion in this drawing either. And by the way, in here I can see this broken up information means that it should be at 2D. You can manually go to paper space down at the bottom of the screen, by the way. And let's go ahead and trim it. So we'll go trim, right mouse click, and then get rid of that. Draw a line from the center of this one, OSNAP. And we're going to look for a dado to point to. Alright. Try not to cause too much confusion. Just come close to it, be good enough. And trim, and go ahead and get rid of that. And we're pretty much done. We're going to double check all the windows that are at a particular scale. And I think the word none shouldn't appear here. 1 to 8. This window should be at 2D. You can watch the text just write itself. Oops. Let me do a save. I'm pretty far into this. This is where it doesn't look a little like a with it goes. I'm still saving. Sorry. All right. Mouse is back. That's 1 to 8. The other ones don't have scales that are marked. This one is also going to be 1 to 8. It is. You can just check them. That means that the text is going to be the correct size. I don't know whether this can go to 1 to 8. Let's just try it. I did get rid of a lot of stuff. You got to get rid of the word custom, go to 1 to 8. Now, let's just find out how large. I can undo this. That's not too bad. Let me just, it's nice to have all the text in relative size to like the drawing. It's great to be able to do that. And an employer is really going to look at you and say, wow, you really did a great job on all the formatting of the drawing, everything. The text on the output is the same size. So there we go. We just need to turn everything black and white. Double click in paper space or in the model space and override everything. Control A, black and white. We have a black and white printer, so that's what well, it does color, but we print these out in black and white. Go to paper space, double click on the paper, go Control A, and go ahead and make it all black and white. And there we go. The only other drawing that might be color, you could actually take this as you do the rendering and so on. You could choose everything in the solid and say, by layer, and get a little color in there, but it's going to change this also, anything that's a solid like that. And we'll work on a rendering if we can get to it. So we do a Control S, and we do want to do a preview. So file, asking it to do a lot here. Do a plot preview, and with driver, let's see. All right, so everything looks good. I kind of would like to see the circles around this stuff. So let's take those viewports and actually put them on the title block layer. So we'll lie here, and we'll go to the title block layer or border, right? Plot preview. And there we are. Now you can toggle around to see what your given line weights are. I'm not seeing an object line weight that's different than the dimensions. Can you see that? So we've got a problem. Hit escape, and let's go ahead in here. Let's go back where the subline on it there it's supposed to be. So we'll come back here, double click the wheel of your mouse. If mine would cooperate, that would be great. All right, now you can turn on line weight if you want to, and you can see some line weight. So right away there's trouble. All right, so that line is on the object layer. That must mean the problem is here. So go to Object. That's right, it's set at default. There's the problem. So that needs to be at a 7. You're hidden at a 5. And everything else is at default except for the title block, which is the border, which is at a 9. You can double click these lines to get to see what's going on here. Now we should be okay. All right, there's some line weight, right? Looks pretty nasty there. You can right mouse click, go to settings, and knock this scale of line weight back just to kind of help you out a little bit. Go back to plotter, plot preview, and you'll find you've even printed it. That's why you probably print more than once when you're actually doing almost anything professionally also. It's kind of the way it goes. You also have people that are checkers. Now, the title block's not filled out yet. It is an entertainment center. It's mechanical drawing, CAD, final, yes. You need your last name here. Cursor's moving around here. The file name should be whatever you called it, and scale is is 1 to 8. This is 1 of 1 sheet. So let's just amend some of this so you can see how it works. So last name, like to put your first initial in there. You don't need a period. Say OK. The file name, you should actually go in and rename your file, and you should call it your last name CAD final, and you should put 2011. You really do need to rename it. A lot of people have had several names as things have been going here. The software is AutoCAD 09. The scale 1 to 8, or you could just do, I think there's several scales. I mean, some are none, so go as noted. The date you can change, sheet 1 of 1, and I believe the rest of it is true. Component view, multi-view, isometric solid. That's pretty much it. Do a save. You do a real name project because you probably have some bogus name right now, as many times as we had to name these things. I will be collecting these. You'll be handing them into the hand in folder, and I'll archive them. And it's very necessary that you name them last name, CAD final. Let me go in here. That doesn't designate the class. Let me put a 2001, 2011. CAD final, that'll be good enough. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. Plot preview, let's take a look. We have asked Mr. Barnes if he's got the right paper in. Sometimes we've got photo paper in, and that's very expensive. So you can do a send when you're ready. That pretty much wraps it up.